See? All right, it's loading up. My little
Man, I'm still sore from basketball, bro.
Oh man, you lived
2 months ago.
2 months ago.
All right, we in the game.
We're in. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
If I go to YouTube right now, will I be able to see it?
Yeah, we live. Yep, we all the way live.
We're like grandpas, man.
Nah, nah, I ain't no grandpa. Not that I know of.
Not yet.
So what's up, y'all? Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV. We got OG Alex, the Lumpia King, and then we got the king of that microphone thing. We got Fran Boogie off up in the house to tap in on this co-hosting. What's up, man? I'm glad y'all was able to come in, man. Let me tell you, Alex, I had quite a night in San Francisco with Fran Boogie, man. The Pharcyde did this show, and it was one of the sponsors was this drink. What's that drink you guys drink up there?
Tell them, Alex, what my drink is.
Fernet.
Oh my God, I still don't get it, man, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? That night I got it. I was pretty flavorful moving through the streets of San Francisco.
No, that's how it usually happens, though.
Yeah, I still don't get it though. It didn't taste great, but a lot of people liked it. A lot of people were drinking it.
I don't drink for the taste, dog. I'm not sophisticated. I'm not sophisticated like that.
Keeping it a buck. And then I got the other guest of the night, the OG homie Alex, which, man, it's a trip because I met Alex for the first time with the Pharcyde. He did a show with De La Soul, the Black Eyed Peas. Matter of fact, I was talking to Paz about it a couple weeks back. But we were in Hawaii, and what were you doing out there, Alex?
I was just hanging. We met through Rosalind. So
yeah. So you were just hanging out there.
Yeah. So that's just how all things connect, you know.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
Yeah, and you guys are doing a show in Hawaii, and then I booked the show for New Year's Eve, right, in San Francisco.
And it's a trip, Fran, because the book that the show that Alex booked for New Year's that we did in Frisco, it was a trip to me because it was a Filipino. Like this, okay, so the Pharcyde has about 3 or 4 different scenes in San Francisco. Everything from the Oakland super hyphy type of people to the, what do you call it? The
baby.
The other, yeah, the others. The others. What are the others? Like the gentrification crews, the crowds, whatever. Like all these different little things. But I had never. Oh man, he brought the mascot out.
Elmo. It's Elmo. Messed up your story. I'm sorry.
You done mess up the story. So anyway, it was amazing because Alex brought out like about 1,000 or so. It was just a straight up Filipino, like college. Was it high school or college crowd?
No, that was college, man.
Alex?
I mean, it wasn't college. It's 21 and over New Year's Eve party. One of the best parties I've ever thrown. I mean, what you saw is how it all built together was that, there was Filipino populations and like heavy parties in LA and San Francisco. Fran experienced that stuff in LA. I was like probably on top of my game at that time in San Francisco. And that was probably like the first time we all like put 10 grand that we had in our pockets and put it and invested in a real party. We rented a place called the Galleria. And it was Eve. And at that time it was 2005. And that was like in middle of like when raving was transitioning out and hip hop was lost. And Rosalind had to find me a good booking that made sense for the crowd. We wanted to speak to that 23 to 35-year-old and up, And Pharcyde hit the radar. And at that time, it just made perfect sense. And I teamed up with my buddy Randall. I think Fran was there too. And it was like probably the most live my baby. It was probably the most live party we ever did. And the mixture in the Bay, as you know, our hip hop, DJs and our MCs, mainly Filipino. Because in the Bay, we were the leaders of the party industry. Fran brought that magic that he learned in LA and made it even stronger in the Bay. And he's holding it down, holding the torch till this day. I mean, speak 20 years later, it's just strong because in San Francisco,
that's just 20 years in the Bay.
Yeah, 20 years in the Bay.
X amount of years in LA. So it's been a while. Yeah.
And it's crazy how all of us connect. Like we either met through Roslyn, we met through Lucky Lou, we met through.
Yeah, I've known Roslyn like since I was 18 years old.
I'm trying to figure out how the three of us, what connected the three of us.
So I knew Roslyn since I was 18, like through like house parties and whatnot in LA. Then I knew Alex before I even moved up here because I used to play basketball in all the Filipino tournaments up here in the Bay Area, and Alex would throw those tournaments up here in the Bay. So I would come up with my team from LA, and we'd play in those tournaments. That's how I met Alex. So we'd be in like Delano, we'd be in Las Vegas, and we'd be traveling, and we'd always run into Alex, and we'd always end up at the same parties, post tournament, and at the same parties. Obviously, to have the same friends, and me doing parties in LA, I'd end up doing parties with Alex up here in San Francisco, and that's just kind of how it came together. And then Polo, the manager of the Black Eyed Peas, I went to high school with.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freestyle sessions.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about it, Alex, I had heard Fran's name here and there, but didn't really understand who he was or what he did. But I will say this though. No, Pete. Yeah. I say this almost every show. People that I connect with, for whatever reason, they're just always at the top of their game at whatever they do. Like, and like I may not have seen them do what they do, and I might just meet them casually, and we just kind of click, link, whatever, and we have our little thing going. But when we did this party, it was a party for a tech company, I want to say it was, and that was the night that we were drinking that, whatever that thing is you guys drink out there that had me loaded. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. And Fran was on the mic, and I was like, it makes sense because I would always hear his name. That's what it was. I would always hear his name associated with Apollo and all those guys. But, I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm going to say it. I probably thought he was a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Because I would just see his name.
That's the bit that everybody thinks I'm a DJ.
Yeah. But and the twist is, man, he really rocked the party. And I was like, it kind of blew me away. Not because he's a Filipino cat or in the Bay or just whatever, but it was like a MC truly carrying the party, rocking like what an MC is supposed to do. And it kind of like, it kind of blew my mind. And then after the fact, and then with the, I don't think we were ever friends on Facebook or anything, but Instagram, I just see his name popping and popping and popping up, and he's involved in this event and that event. And I was just kind of like, man, nah, that's what he does. But nah, man, Fran, I'm glad I got you tapped in right here, man, because anybody that has not seen Fran Boogie do what he does, man, check his Instagram out. What's your Instagram, Fran Boogie?
Fran Boogie.
All right. So you know what I'm saying?
Did you have that during AOL?
Fran Boogie actually happened in San Francisco, not LA. So my whole thing is LA made me, SF paid me.
Okay. Yeah. So you, Alex, Fran is gonna help me interview you. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna co-host in on it, and then I'm gonna get to Fran.
We're gonna interview me in Cookie Monster onesie, bro, because my baby won't stop crying until. Look at that.
What is it there?
This is the first.
This is hip hop, bro. Come on.
The viewership is going up right here, Smoot.
Come on, man. Like, hey, who wasn't with Cookie Monster, bro? Like, she ain't gonna cry. She said, "Daddy, put it on. We need to wear the same thing." So, let's go.
You're gonna sweat yourself out, dog. Go ahead.
Let's just go.
I'm already sweated out, man. I'm over here trying to hold on to it. You understand me?
Come here, Elmo. Let's go.
So tell me this, Alex. This is a question that I ask everybody that comes through the whole little Splendid situation. When you heard Run DMC for the first time, how did it impact you?
Is that for me? So basically, I'm the youngest of 5 boys. And I was introduced to hip hop through all my older brothers out here in Hayward, California. So they were throwing these down during like an era called Imagination. That was like a Mark Bradford party type. And I was during like before like, at the start of turntablism. So I was like, I got to see that as a kindergarten student to third grade. We had the linoleum. We had the we laid out the cardboard. Nobody knew that I was a little. So I was like the Michael of the Jackson 5 of my brothers. So I would come in with the finishing moves. Nobody knew that I could have break. So Crush Groove was that time when like I was like, oh, let's run DMC. There's New Edition. So I mean, I thought they were the freshest. So I mean, Run DMC was introduced to my brother's record collection when they were smoking weed underneath the. I wanted to get in the door, and then he wouldn't let me in. I'm like, hey, I want to listen to that record. And then I'm like, hey, that was a little different in there, Mom. What are they doing in there? So that was like 83 to 86, around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you go to junior high school?
Junior high school, I went in Hayward, California, just outside of San Leandro in Oakland. So went to a Catholic school. Dad raised me really good. But then we were in Hayward, so that's where the mixture is like white, Mexican, black. So I grew up with a lot of diversity. So yeah, I was a guy pushing the hip hop, like since 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, dang, that's cool. So tell me this: did you go to high school with anybody that blew up?
Well, I went to 2 high schools, and the first high school has all the stars, Hayward High. So you had like Andre Ward, and you had Eddie House. That's where all the athletes went. Then I transferred to Moreau Catholic. That's where all the Filipinos were. So that's when I stopped focusing on sports, and I just wanted to be cool and party. So my GPA went from like 4.0 to like 2.9 in like 2 years.
Oh man,
it was fun.
That's not a huge drive. I thought you were gonna say, well, my GPA went to 4 or something down to like a 1.
Nah, that's huge though, man. So, but Moreau had who'd they have? They had Darren. It's nothing compared to Hayward High. Hayward High had all the athletes. They had Andre Ward. They had who else? They had some other guys. Eddie House is probably the guy. Bill Walsh, he was there. But yeah, those are the stars that blew up from there. More athletes and stuff. So no musicians, nothing like that.
Right. I got one for you, Alex. So since we've been together, I mean, you did, doing the whole nightlife thing. How did you transition from being a nightlife promoter into promoting comedy shows?
Well, man, I always wanted to get my Russell Simmons on, man. I read every book. I read his books, read Diddy's books. And it was time to I was promoting DJs, and DJs were doing their own thing. And I saw a bunch of comics that had talent, guys like Joey Gila, Joe Coy, and they were doing showcases. And I just thought the next level event would be like doing our own Kings of Comedy show.
All right.
And that's where I learned how to, the networking with the nightclubs. I learned how to work bookings with the improv. Then I was able to tour talent to 10 cities. Joe Coy helped me open the gates for some of those. And it was fresh. We had our own Def Comedy Jam, but Filipino Kings of Comedy. And the funny story is I was using that tagline. This is the first time, and then the Kings of Comedy came with a little cease and desist with me. So I had to change. So when you get a cease and desist, that means you're kind of doing your thing. You know?
Yeah, I got one from Hell's Angels too. Don't worry.
So I just put a Z on the end and he stopped sending.
Yeah, they didn't take that either, just to get the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow. What was the first show you promoted, Alex?
First show I promoted in the Bay. There wasn't too acts weren't coming to the Bay yet in like '93. I did a 18 and over party, which was like hip hop on every Wednesday night, and I booked a group called the Who Riders.
Them my homeboys. I know Sonny.
Yeah. So I went out to LA and went to a bunch of legend parties out there. And then they had the Who Riders and they had Born Americans. And I took those bookings and brought them to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff, my game plan, I learned from LA and then brought it back to the Bay. Franny does the same thing, but makes it better.
Hey, man. And I'm glad that you give us our props, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come down here and jar it up, you know what I'm saying? Right. And throw it in their little carry-on bag and hop on the plane and go out, you know.
Yeah.
No, Alex was back and forth. He was definitely in LA all the time. We shared the same, we go back. We have the same, same network over 20 years, and we just grew with each other. I mean, especially with Rosalind when she was with MySpace. With Tom. Tom was actually, people would trip out. Yo, is Tom a real person? And go, yeah, I fucking met Tom. You know what I mean?
Hung out with
Tom.
Yeah, like, yo, that dude is a real dude. Yeah, like it was me, Roz, Tom. I think Dwelle. That was the first time I ever met Dwelle. We went to some MySpace party out there. But I mean, that's how far like we all like we go back. Yeah.
The reason why Fran and I do these things, we did these things for the last 30 years, because we're Filipino Americans. A lot of our culture back in the Philippines wasn't taught to us. Most of us don't even speak our own language and speak Tagalog. So what we had to do was like build our own culture here. And we chose to build it with hip hop, with parties, with DJs. And that's what Fran and I've been doing for 30 years. Whatever work that we're in, we're community builders. So it's either you're in LA or the Bay, you're like spearheading it. And then now it's everywhere. New York, Chicago. Some of the illest DJs are just everywhere around the nation.
I'll say this for those that don't know. The Filipino community and the unity that you guys have is something that, like, I'll say that the Pharcyde has gifted me into a lot of relationships as well as experiences. And I'll say me seeing the Filipino parties and how all you guys roll just so deep. And it's a clique. It seems like it's a clique outside of, it's like it's something that's, if you weren't looking at it, you wouldn't see it, but it's so huge. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, and it's big. I mean, the hip hop culture to us is almost second nature, whether it be DJs. I mean, God, it's funny that, we've had this conversation so many times. Filipinos are just entertainers, by nature, whether they're entertaining people at their homes, at businesses, at restaurants. We enjoy, singing, dancing, performing, you know what I mean? And that's just something part of, our, who we are as a people and as a community. And for us, it's, again, some of the best DJs in the world are Filipino. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you have dancers, you have singers, and that's just something we enjoy. And for us, like me, myself, and Alex, hip hop was our place. It is our place. I grew that's all I know. I mean, there's corporate Fran, for sure, but there's I'm just gonna be hip hop for life. I mean, I can't even help it. You know what I mean?
You do what you do, and Alex does what he does. Matter of fact, speaking about Alex, on another New Year's, we ended up crossing paths at the Roosevelt Hotel. And we Pharcyde did a show at the Roosevelt, and I'm back. I'm out by the pool,
side stage. Yeah,
a producer by the name of Pro Mike, and I always try to throw cool stuff into the rider here or there, and somehow I had stumbled upon a bottle or two of Cristal, and I was out and I was sipping and drinking, and this dude bumps in, and it's like, yo, what's up? And I'm looking, I'm like, dang, how'd you get here? You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, okay, Alex isn't just a regular dude. I'm running into him in Hawaii. He's throwing dope shows in San Francisco with a whole different demographic than I'd ever seen the Pharcyde do a show for that was like that concentrated with that particular demographic. And then we're here in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying, chilling. And I'm like, okay, this is a special cat, man. And then he does it. He ends up getting into the restaurant business.
I know how that happened.
And I'm gonna tell you something funny about it. It's funny. I was talking to Brown last week, and
okay.
Alex had hit us up. We did this show at Yoshi's And the whole little Yoshi's thing was, you know, it's 2 shows in a night, and then 2 shows, like usually 2 nights in a row, 2 shows. And Alex was like, yo, man, I'm gonna bring you guys some burritos, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna bring you some reels. But my thing was, you know, if wherever we were, I think he was across the bridge, or he wasn't that close to us. And I just kind of felt bad. And I was like, man, I don't want him to bring some food and it's like laid and it ends up getting cold and it doesn't get eaten. So then I, you know, ended up not hooking up with the burritos. And then when I find out about this lumpia thing going on, I'm like, okay, the foodieism in me, you know what I'm saying? I'll eat some cold lumpias, which sounds crazy. Which sounds crazy as hell, but I really wasn't into like a cold burrito. But I'll say this though, Alex, going through your social media, I'm such a foodie to the heart, man. I'm gonna get an air fryer tomorrow, man. I don't know who that little young lady you had, but if she could do it, I can do it. You had her brushing the little
Alan Palos' daughter.
Yeah, she was brushing the vegetable oil on the lumpias and sliding them into the air fryer for a hot 12 minutes on it. You know what I'm saying? Popping out perfection. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Man, speaking of that, man, like, that's just crazy because, like, part of, you know, producing or touring or throwing parties, for me, my fat body, the highlight of the night is where we going to eat after.
Me too.
You know? And all 3 of us, I mean, whatever city we went to, you're in Philly, you're going to get that cheesesteak, right? You're in Chicago, you get Italian beef. We're in Hawaii, where's the shrimp truck? So I was seeing all that, and people like Fran and Greg and all of us, we celebrate that way. And as managers, that's the best. That I look forward to that. So I didn't see anything Filipino that was like cool. When I was in LA, I saw Roy Choi do his thing. That was like kind of some of my inspirations. And it just, that's why I wanted to create the Lumpia Company. When you were talking burritos, I didn't have my own thing, so I had to like rep Mr. E in Papalote. So funny thing is, every time I brought an act in, I had, you know, you want to get close with the artist, and we brought Pharcyde to Papalote. And then I brought Fife. I brought Fife to Papalote. And that was just like, that's just always the welcoming we wanted to create. And now that I have my own company and I want to do with Filipino food, that was the whole basis behind it. You know, I'm like, man, we need something fresh to represent what we do. And it took me a while to figure out the formula, but, you know, food was something that if I do it right, I could do it better than, you know, I could do it the best in the world. That's where it was. I mean, I was doing promotions. I was just trying to be the best of the Filipinos, and whatever, you know, I couldn't beat Russell Simmons with his comedy shows. I reached the glass ceiling. Now with Lumpias, I said, man, if I do this right, nobody's going to do it better.
Real quick. Fran got a question for you, but I'm going to raise this cup right here because we're about to let everybody know who your business partner is. But I'm over here on this Mangoscato. You understand me?
Okay. So here's my question. How did the E40 partnership come along?
Man, it was just meant to be because, I mean, he's from Vallejo.
Yeah.
You know, he really loves Lumpia.
He does?
I got a phone call one day, and I was just like, getting the phone, and then I'm like, what's E-Rock want? You know, DJ E-Rock. And I picked up the phone and said, what's up, E-Rock? And then he said, hey, Alex, I got Earl Stevens on the phone. Yeah, Earl Stevens.
Uncle Earl.
Earl on him.
Yeah, Uncle Earl was on the phone. And he said, hey, Alex, I've been watching your stuff. He said, people need to know that I like Lumpia. All right? First thing I like, this is exact impression, man. I don't know. You know, he says, first thing I like is oxtail. I like oxtail, but I don't eat it that much anymore. And then it's chitlins. Well, what people don't know is that lumpia is my favorite dish. He says, but I think you should make it healthier and like put some ground turkey in it. That's the way I'd like to do it. I'm all right. How about I make you these and then I'll send them over to you. I'll put ground turkey in it. So, yeah. So that was like when I was first starting and I was rolling things up. I changed my career. I was broke as hell, like, tell you the truth, because I was just at that transition of being a promoter and like figuring, what the hell am I gonna do next? You know what I mean? And I moved back from LA and, you know, chilled at my mama's crib for a little bit. And like said, hey, how do I do this? You know, got tutored a little bit and made some crazy flavors like the bacon cheeseburger lumpia. So I was rolling those up and I posted on Instagram and people were like, what? You cook now? I'm well, not really, not yet. I was just fabricating a lumpia that nobody's seen before. Mm-hmm. And then that's why I was like, whoa, I'm getting a little bit of love on Instagram. This could be something, you know? So I was still doing comedy shows and I had an idea. I'm like, what if I sell these lumpias at my comedy shows? First time I did that, I jumped on, it was in LA. You know, I barely had a couple $100 in my account. So I was like, I got to jump on a mega bus and then put these lumpias in a cooler, take a bus all the way to Union Station, LA.
Great story, man. Great story.
You know what? I mean, I'm holding back some of the stuff.
Hustle shit.
I'm really holding back some stuff here, okay? It was 3 a.m. Check this out, right? And I got denied to bring my cooler on the megabus right there in San Francisco. My chef friend dropped me off at 2 o'clock, and then like the bus lady said, nope, can't do it, it's too heavy. And then they opened up, nope, can't do perishables. I'm like, this was my mixtape. You know what I'm saying? This was like my mixtape. You're walking it into Def Jam, and she said I can't bring it, and I don't have enough money to buy a flight. So I'm like, fuck it. All right, Alex, you better game up, because she said you could talk to the driver and see if she'll let you do it. So I had my bag, you know, and I was like, Mama, this bag of lumpias might not look like anything, but this bag of lumpias is my life. This is gonna be the game changer of my whole business plan. And she could see the tears in my eyes. I was crying, you know, 39-year-old dude, you know, crying to get lumpias. She said, you know, honey, one person did not book. You could put your cooler right on that seat. That was the biggest relief I've ever seen. Every time I go to the radio station, the megabus station's right there, and that was like my turning point. So yeah, I got on the bus, got to Union Station. Somebody picked me.
Oh man, see.
About the climax.
Hey man, that's the Teddy Riley moment, man. That's the Teddy Riley and
I'm gonna take a picture of this just because he looks hilarious.
Yep. And you know what the cold thing about it? I kind of had envisioned something like this maybe going down, and I had prepared. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna re-invite him in. Yep. But I'm about to ask you a couple things, Fran.
Yeah. All good.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just invite him back in, and then we can go hop into you.
All good.
Yeah, this is what goes down live.
No, hey, it's
right at the
technical issues, man.
Yeah.
All good.
So man, so with you, Fran, I had no idea that you were from LA-ish or that area. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess you've been in the Bay long enough to be
almost half. Yeah.
So what part of LA are you from?
I grew up in like Pico Rivera, Montebello area. Then
I would have thought West Covina, but that's
headed out that way to like Walnut, Rolling Heights, that area, West Covina. I mean, that's exactly where I hung out. You know, so like, you know, my high school, I went in San Gabriel, Bosco Tech in San Gabriel, but we lived in Rolling Heights. That's kind of, you know, where Rolling Heights is up by that bar. Yeah, so I was up there. Yeah, so I was it's Alex.
Tell him I just sent him a link. Ooh, Mangoscato, man.
So during that time in my life, that was high school. So I was going to all the parties in West Covina, Diamond Bar, La Puente, that whole area, and I was doing stuff in LA all the time. So
in MCing?
No, that didn't happen till I got out here to San Francisco.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm not jocking, but man, if anybody's watching, man, Fran Boogie know what to do with that mic, man. But then too, you know what? I'll say a combination of you knowing what to do with the mic, and also you being with such dope DJs and the way that you guys get down, and probably because you guys have been getting down for so long, just the cohesiveness to the whole thing. Because man, Apollo, Shortcut, woo!
Yeah, no, amazing. I mean, especially like me and like, as of late, it's been me and John like kind of doing, shows together, often. It's like they book John, they bring me along because they know what happens when we get me and him together. I mean, I just know him so well musically, you know, it's like it's peanut butter, peanut butter and jelly for both of us when we get down. It's real easy.
And did you know, like before you went up to the Bay, did you ever dibble and dabble with MCing or anything like that or whatever? Or how did it come about?
There was no plan to ever be an MC. I'm a hip hop kid and I loved hip hop. So it was me rapping lyrics to every damn song that came on the radio. And that's how it really started. I would hang out with my friend Mr. E, who owned the burrito spot that you talked about when I first moved up here. And I would just go to his parties and he'd play all the shit that I like, all the golden era shit. So
okay.
And me, that's all my shit. I'll rap any song. And I was just, that's how it started. I was standing, he threw me the mic, and that's really.
Wow, you took to it for real. I'm about to tap Alex back in real quick. Let me see. We're gonna try to get this problem.
What's up? What happened? Your AOL CD expired?
I'm back.
Someone called the house phone, kicked you off the internet.
I don't know. It's dial up, man. No, just kidding.
No, you got to get back to the story, man. You had it right at the cliffhanger, man.
Yeah, no, I was about to nut, and then you just oh.
So we went to this show, and I only made enough servings for for 200 for 5 shows, right? And every show has 200 people, so there's 1,000 people. I just thought I'd get a little cheese on it. So the first show comes up, and they're bacon cheeseburger lumpias. And then people, the tickets weren't flying until the host went up and he said, you know what? The producer of the show thought he'd be crazy and sell some bacon cheeseburger lumpias. And then people were laughing. Yeah, right. And then I'll check the menu on your table. And then they're like, whoa. And then I went back to the kitchen and then tickets started flying. It was the first time I ever seen my food move.
I know that thrill, man. I know that thrill.
In a different industry, I seen something happen that you just brainstormed and then just seen it work. And that was the time, so that out of those 200 servings that I made, 150 of them sold on that first show. And then I'm like, it was the first time I really made them, and I had a chef help me out the first time. So I was like, yo, we'll just say it sold out the whole week. No, I got a ride to Seafood City and made more on my own. My chef friend was like, no, don't do it. I'm like, man, that's easy, bro. I could do it.
So wait a minute.
Do it. And
you rolled them by yourself and everything? But you know what?
They let me use their kitchen. That was like the first time I really said, hey, I could do this.
I'm gonna tell you something, Alex. I'm a hustler to the heart too, man. I wake up in the morning, go to sleep at night thinking about it, man. When you get that thrill of making some bread off of your own natural resource, the high of that is it's just ridiculous, man. It's something that can't be stopped, man. You learn a new respect for yourself because you translated one of your ideas into bread, and that's one of the coldest feelings. You know what I'm saying?
And the best part of it for us 3 guys coming from we all have management side, and we all help talent, put them on stage or hype them up on stage. And there's only so much that we can do for them, I have 10 to 20 years of that, and it's just sometimes you got to let them figure it out on their own. I did this for myself, I that's where I took a step. What am I doing wrong? Everything I did was great, but it reached a certain point. And then that's where I found out, I just got to do something for myself. Because if it falls off, then it's my fault. I can never blame this artist because he didn't try hard enough, or it was, we needed to hit it when the iron was hot. This thing right here, I was just yo, I'm gonna, this is like right after I changed careers, and I said, every night I'm gonna turn on some Hova, on Pandora, and I'm gonna roll like 300 of these and get better and better and better. And Fran and all the fellas were all throwing the best parties right when I moved back. Like 111 Minute, I couldn't make all of them because I was like, yo, I ain't got no money to buy nobody drinks right now. I gotta concentrate on what's really real. And by next year, I'll be able to smile again because I didn't go to clubs and make myself feel better. Just went to clubs it was my community. So
question: how many tastings did you have to have with E40 before it was confirmed like a Don King perm?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, he was already hooked on Lumpia, right?
Yeah.
But he really does put his input into my recipes because it took about 2-3 times to get his. He's telling me because he's from Vallejo and he grew up authentically around, like in Little Manila, in Vallejo. It's the hillside. That's like Chula Vista in San Diego. That's like Eagle Rock where Fran is from. And he told me, no peas. Put more cabbage. No. I'm like, all right, how about we do 50 meat and then the rest veggies? And it took about 2-3 times. He was already into doing this, but to get the recipe approval to be the Earl special, I mean, he's very specific.
Was that for a particular lumpia that he wanted for himself, or was this for?
Oh, he was already on. I sent some bacon cheeseburger. He was just sold on the brand.
Oh.
30 years of throwing parties. I mean, you bet I'm gonna get the brand right.
Yeah.
You bet I'm gonna make a little flame logo, and you bet I'm gonna put 40s lumpias right here. So, I mean,
I need to be printing them shirts too, man. I go slow with it. Brown probably, man, my biggest, homeboy, whatever. I don't even put my printing business and all that out there. But I'm about to. This is a cool little episode of Splendid, man. Because this is hustlers, man, breaking it down, and anybody that can't connect to this, you're probably not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Some very serious game that's getting dripped. You know what I'm saying right here. So about 3 times you hit 40 up, and then how does it turn from you having the Lumpia conversation? And I want to say, I didn't check it online, but how many locations do you guys have?
Man, that's a funny question because I was supposed to have 3 at this time.
Okay.
But the COVID hit. So it kind of checked me. It's like, all right, now let's just work on the basics, on the ones that we really have. The takeout window, and that's all. But there's something building in San Francisco, and San Francisco's looking a little tough right now. I have a trailer that I'm trying to find a space for, but you can't bring that thing out. So right now, just really one location.
On brick and mortar.
I'm teasing into another one that is unannounced, but that one's supposed to be a Lumpia bar. But, man, when a bar is going to be back, right? So, yeah, so as far as E40, it took over a year for him to put the pencil down and sign. So it didn't stop as soon as I knew he was hooked on, but he needs to see that business is right. The plan is good. He wanted his, there's like 3 or 4, like about 3 or 4 months where like I didn't hear from him. So I'm like, oh, that's a dead duck. You know what I mean? Like, but then saw me on the local news and he goes, yo, I seen you on the news. That's big. And I'm like, yeah, and to me, I never had fear that I was going to lose him because I knew how much he loved Lumpia. But I also had to get the business plan right before I completely had him sold on because, things will go wrong if you just don't got everything in track. Even if he signs out of trust, you know what I mean? It just, he's a businessman.
He is a man. Uncle Earl is a businessman.
I mean, his lawyers, everybody checks in on me, make sure I'm right,
Hopefully no goons.
It ain't no homie stuff. Yeah.
Ain't no muscle knocking on the takeout window.
Right.
That's what's up. That's a great story.
Yeah. But it's been amazing. Yeah. where we want to go. It's when you're talking about air fryers. I wanted to like bring up that we just got off a meeting with an appliance company, and he just calls me double line. Hey, Alex, I got this person on the phone, and then go ahead. And now I have to do the sell, And I'm like, hey, what would it take for us to have our own Lumpia Company air fryers, and have our customers be able to buy them with our own lumpias? And how do we get these in Target and all the stores? So
you're gonna have me big as the house, man.
We're working on more than just the lumpias, the components that work around. Lumpia is a lifestyle for me now. I smell like I got lumpia cologne. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, but yeah. I'm with the air fryer. That's good, though. I'm proud of you, dog.
I mean, that's where it's at, And he's that guy that is always thinking outside the box.
Yeah, you got to. That's what's up.
What's the most slept on lumpia flavor that you guys got?
I'd say the veggie, man. This veggie that we do, because people just overlook veggie. But
I do.
Yeah.
Me too, man. Me too. Carnivore. We need a smoked beef rib lumpia. You understand me? A smoked beef rib lumpia, man.
I just think smoked beef rib is like better as just going straight to the meat, man. Those are the ones that you like. The concept is so fresh, but you should hear some of this shit. Some of the flavors that people text me or send.
I was going to add. That was my question. So what is like? Well, have you tried? I wanted to do that just did not work out. Like, fuck, I want this to work out so bad. It's just like, man, this is ass.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I get real stupid with it, and I'm like, all right, I go, yeah, the shrimp truck in Hawaii. That's like garlic shrimp, butter, and rice. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's gonna work. It really worked. Okay. So then I'm like, all right, cool. That's gonna be iconic. Then I'm like, oh man, nothing better than getting clam chowder by the sea. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make a clam chowder lumpia. I don't know. I couldn't get it right, man. And then like I made this one called the Napa Valley. That's another slept on lumpia. So that's like a Italian dry salumi chopped up. I went to my rich brother's house after I made the bacon cheeseburger, and I'm like, all right, here's some salami. Here's some fancy like manchego cheese and Asiago. I'm gonna dice that up, and then I'm gonna mix it together, blend it all, and then I need some greens. I'm gonna get some arugula, mash that in, and then put it to lumpia form, like lumpia filling form. I became a real scientist, like a Heisenberg of lumpia. That's like nerd shit that I'm on right now. What makes a good mix? My aunties, and my mom, they haven't gone this far. They make one or two types of lumpias. Yeah, and everyone that hits me up and says, it's not as good as my mama's lumpia, or like, you can't roll it like my mom. Your mom only rolled 1,000 lumpias in her lifetime. I roll 1,000 lumpias a week, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like,
take that.
Yeah, and I'm not hating on no one's mom. And the touch and the recipe, I'll leave it to her. You know what I mean? That's great stuff. But I'm trying to make a business out of it. If I made mom's lumpia, it'd be like, my mom, I'm not going to pay this much for it. But you're going to pay $3 for a cookie, or you're going to pay $5 for a piece of sushi. You know what I mean? Why can't I make a lumpia that you've never seen before and delicious, and get the right money for it? Because it takes labor, it takes freezer space, it takes refrigeration. It's a whole production. And I'm still going through that culture shock with my customers. But the people that really know, they're coming back and back like every other day, So
tell me this. Can somebody hit you up and pay for a custom lumpia situation?
Now, you wouldn't believe the amount that some people are paying for some custom lumpias. And to tell you the truth, even if I'm charging high enough, it takes away from my production, So it's like, if it really has to happen, like E40, he's saying, hey, what if you make a snow crab lumpia? I'm all, why don't we do king crab? He's like, no, I'm telling you, snow crab is better than king crab. I'm like, okay, I'll make snow crab lumpia, Earl. I'll get it done. How much butter you want it? Just a little. Some salt, pepper. Put it in. I'm all, yeah, let's just make it simple. Let's roll this up, wrap it up, and we'll try it out. And then he was right. Chili crab was off the hook, you know?
We need the pepperoni, man. We need the pepperoni and cheese lumpias, man.
So before I say I'm going to send you your lumpias, Fran's going to get really mad if I send it to you before I send it to him, because Fran's been asking for like.
I'll ask, but then I forget, and then he'll remind me. Then it's like, but I'm local. G's down south, so you gotta take care, G.
Shame on me, because it's like
it's the same thing though. I send next day. Come on now, it's the same price too.
I'm gonna get on them lumpias, man. You know what? It's 2 things that I'm gonna do before Friday.
Okay. Air fryer. I'm
gonna support my brother Casual, man, because he gives up so much game. It's like he's been giving up game since like 2003, 2004. If you follow him on Facebook, he's just a really smart cat. And with you, Alex, I was on the fence, man. I'm a foodie to the heart, and I'm just super greedy, and I just love to get my grub on.
Oh man, did we get cut off again?
You threw up the one. Oh, there we go.
Stop calling the house phone.
Yeah, man, I knew it was gonna be. It couldn't be all perfect, you know what I'm saying? But he got his little lumpia with him, you know what I'm saying? She's up there hanging out with Daddy, you know. So anyway, man, with all that being said, we gonna wrap it, Fran, and I'm gonna tap you in for another episode of Splendid Radio. But man, I just want to say, I really appreciate you, man. And hold on, let me unfreeze him. Hold on, let me do this right here. All right, there we go. Yeah, dude, I really appreciate the hospitality that you extended us the night that we came out to that show that we did. Because, like I said, man, I had never seen you in motion. I wouldn't have known that you were in LA or whatever. I'd heard the name and I saw it on flyers, but I just thought you were a DJ. Like, it was just whatever. But shit, I can honestly say that, man, we haven't talked probably since then. Really? For real?
Probably. A little
bit, maybe a little Instagram, whatever.
Yep.
But I'll say, man, you took care of me and Brown, man. We had a great night, man. I mean, that.
It was a long night too, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, hopefully, the world will let us weave back into being able to experience a night like that again, man. It's
absolutely. You know, again, once we kind of figure this whole thing out with what's going on in the world, I think, you know what I mean, we got to get back to doing what we do. You know, however we do it moving forward, whether it's online or in person. I mean, just like this. I mean, a lot of people's transitioned a lot of the work, you know, that they're doing, you know, online. So, however we got to do it, G, I'm in all the way.
Tell me this: what are the whispers that you hear as far as returning back to like club life, nightlife, just whatever, or is everybody in like freeze frame?
Right now, everything to me that I've heard, I mean, I've heard Houston opened up 2 weeks ago. Vegas just opened up over the weekend, but off strip, like the smaller clubs, like off strip. Friends from Vegas was telling me they're not even thinking about opening any nightclubs in Las Vegas on the strip till next year. My boy Dre Sinatra, who does spots in LA, they're saying they're going to open next Saturday. So, I mean, I don't know. For me, I'm not trying to be out there when there's no vaccine.
Yeah.
I can't do it, dog. I mean, like,
I've had 2 cousins get it. One person I know they got it, and one cousin died from it. You know what I'm saying? And
really?
So it's like a lot of people want to scream,
fake or exaggerate.
You know, just whatever, you know, whatever. But I'll say this: but before my cousin died from it, my cousin who does construction caught it. He was like out in Moreno Valley.
Okay.
And so I called him because, you know, the family, it trickles down. He got the Rona. It's not Corona. He got that Rona, whatever. And it was like, okay, he was in the hospital, but he was out. So I hit him up, and he said he just started coming down sick, man. He just started coming down sick, and he was on a ventilator for 2 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he got off, and he kind of bounced back. And then the other one didn't go to the hospital. They just kind of took care of it at home.
Sure.
And then the one that died, this is something that people got to understand too. Like she was in Mississippi, and so there was like some cultural ignorance that went to it. Even though she was a nurse, it's kind of like they looked at the Rona like, okay, this is a big city disease. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So it's like we're really not worried about that here in Mississippi because it's like we don't, you know, that's some stuff that they got going on in the big city. And then when I did my research, people were telling me. Matter of fact, I spoke to my one homeboy. Shout out to Wolf. You know, what I'm saying Indo Expo. Mm-hmm. He was like he was in Spain when it jumped off, and he was like they were talking about it was the rich person's disease. And so there was just so much ignorance about it when it came out. But I will say this. When they said that black people couldn't get it, the first thing that I thought, I ain't going nowhere. Yes, I see how they run that. You know what I'm saying? When they said we couldn't get it, nah, I'm not going nowhere. We probably going to get it. You know what I'm saying? And so everything just kind of turned out. But LA, man, I'll say the first 3 weeks, it was like ghost town.
Yeah.
You know, and first 3 weeks was ghost town, and then you start seeing on the news people getting busted throwing day parties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all this underground shit. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you're really gonna throw a party like that? Like this is really the time you want to throw a party in the middle of a pandemic? Mm-hmm. But I get it. But I think that I've talked to my people from Live Nation. I've talked to my people from Golden Voice. Yeah. They're trying to figure it and kind of trying to feel it out. But what I think, and they kind of thought that I was kind of on to something a little bit. I feel that as far as the entertainment industry is concerned and like live performers, not parties.
Right.
Live performers is going to kind of probably be like Yoshi style, where you'll have 2 shows a night, very small place, limited amount of people, not everybody crammed in on top of each other, and it'll be like residencies type of thing. So it'll be like somebody will come. Yoshi's really like the framework for Yoshi's. You'll just be in town for a week. You know what I'm saying? And you'll do 2 small shows a night, and that's kind of how I see it turning. I've seen them try to do the movie theater concept, but I just feel like, man, that's not a show being in a car with 4 of your homeboys. And
that definitely ain't it, man. So yeah, it's just gonna be hard to figure all of that out. I mean, imagine, you know, like my friends in Houston, he was saying like they had a big shield and like all this, and people like it was just awkward, you know, to be in that space with a club open, and people are like socially awkward now because they've been in the house for 2 months and they don't know how to act. And then there's some people that just wild out because they've been in the house too long. So
what's up?
Yo, hold on one second. I just brought
I'm on my phone. My computer's tripping.
See, I tried to bring you back in. We can't get you with the video, but we got you with the audio.
I'm right here.
Oh, here you go.
My phone works better than my laptop.
Man, you owe us all Lumpias for that, man. I'm not gonna say the viewers, you understand me? But
I got a shipment. I'm sending shipments tomorrow, so you better text me with the flavors, and you get that VIP because I shut down shipping only for the people that need to get them though. So
I need that peach cobbler lumpia, man.
Got you.
You know, that was like shit.
I want a commission on it too, man, because I know you're gonna shoot it to Earl, man. Just shoot me my little 10 to 15%, man, and I'm all good with it.
That's the Booker's rate right there, man. 10-15.
So what's up, Alex? I want you to give them your social medias. Let them know where they can check you out. The brick and mortar location, the whole little nine.
Yeah, before I get cut off again, man. My personal is a Lumpia Chef. But you can find us at the Lumpia Company. Google it. You'll find everything. Instagram, the Lumpia Company. And my partner's name, his name's E40, so you can find him too. Yeah, so that's basically, we're in Oakland, and we'll be coming to a city near you, man. Believe that. We're working on some plans.
If the Federal Express man happened to drop off some a case of some Mangoscato, man, I wouldn't tell him he was crazy, man, and send it back to him. I say, yo, Alex, I appreciate the Mangoscato you got flowing through the crib with the loopies. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to do. We're about to do a super package with the Napa Valley. Comes with some fig jam and a free bottle of Mangoscato.
So yeah, man. The pairings, man. The pairings. You
wow, look at y'all. All right, that makes pairings all in the world.
And then Fran's gonna be able to serve that to his wife. Have a good night. Well, candlelight lumpia right there.
Candlelight lumpia dinner.
Yeah, that's it.
Man, I really want the world to get better, man. I only hung out with Fran one time. I done hung out with you a couple times, Alex, man. But with both y'all, it was a great time. But man, we need to get our.
I was surprised, man.
Huh?
We will. We're gonna get back together, man. Fran. We'll just follow what Fran throws next, man. We'll connect. I might come out of retirement and do something with y'all. Let's go.
We'll go to LA. We'll meet up here. We'll meet up in LA. It doesn't matter. I think, regardless, as long as we get together. And,
man. The party might not bring me out, but the food and the good company and some cool drink. You understand me?
That's it.
Y'all have me tight. And then Fran, you want to give your socials and your whole little ins and outs?
Easy breezy, Fran Boogie at Fran Boogie on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, rarely on there, but I'm on Twitch a lot. So Twitch // Fran Boogie. I do a show from Wednesday through Sunday at 8 p.m. with Shortcut. So different theme every night. So Wednesday night through Sunday night at 8 p.m. PST. Twitch.tv / Shortcut, and I host that too. So yeah.
Yeah, reach out to Shortcut. I want to bring him in and interview him, man. Like, not on the DJ and stuff. I mean, I'm gonna talk to him about it. He don't have to DJ, but
yeah,
very accomplished. Man, you guys are really at the top of your game. And Alex, I really want to thank you for tapping in. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
I didn't think it was gonna crack off.
Dude, anytime we can reconnect, the three of us, man. I mean, I can just name some best moments we all had together, bro. It's just like you jump on this show. It was nothing, even though I'm on dad time and baby time, and we still live in a small apartment here. I just wanted to get on with y'all, So it's just like from throwing that New Year's party with you and playing hoops with Fran. Like, man, Fran and I played hoops like 30 years ago. Now we tried to play again like 3 months ago. So it's like great times. Let's keep them going.
Oh, good. But yeah, we'll do that, G, man. We'll get up and we hang out and just hang out, man.
Yeah.
Live.
So no, man, I want to thank all y'all for being a part of this episode of Splendid Radio, man. I'm getting up with my Filipino homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Very talented and gifted individuals, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna hit you up. Matter of fact, in 15 minutes, I'm gonna hit you up with that lumpia order. And I'm not gonna, like, once again, I'm not gonna be upset if you throw in a couple bottles of that Mangoscato. You understand me?
You bet. Your pillow.
You better hit me up so you get them by Friday. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna hit you up like in the next couple of few. So thanks, Fran. And this was Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV. Good looking out, you guys.
All right. Love you, fellas. Peace.